It's tabletop time. I'm Dave.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Jazza.
And Jazz is back there working on something that you'll see a little bit later. Yeah. And today we are going to be building
my first army.
And this is the army that you talked about in the previous video.
It is.
So this will be the Necrons of the Vogt dynasty, I believe.
Correct.
With a little twist.
Yeah, so by default, all of the Gauss weapons for the Necrons are green, and we're gonna switch it up because they're Vogt. Their hive world that they're part of is corrupted by radiation that turns all of their Gauss weapons blue.
So that'll be an interesting challenge to paint the blue.
Yeah.
Today we're going to get cracking on actually building the models, though. So this is the Indomitus box set, or at least the Necron half of the Indomitus box set. So I guess I'm sure you've poured through this at home waiting to build it.
Just a few times.
Yeah, okay. But I'm going to let you do the honors and crack the lid. Ta-da! So this is your handy dandy guide.
Yep.
Have you poured through that yet?
A little bit. I was mostly focused on the art here. Well, I mean, there's obviously like photos of what they look like when they're done, which is cool. And then it's got like real basic step-by-steps on how to kind of plug and play everything together.
All right, so where do you want to start with building? What's your first little...
Let's keep it simple, I think. We'll start with the Necron warriors before we advance to something a bit more complicated.
Yeah, so we'll dive into it. So we started by beginning to build some Necron warriors. So we started with using knives, clippers, the usual things, but this time, unlike my previous video, we decided to actually clean up the sprue. So we just used knives safely and responsibly, of course, and also Also the mold line remover. All right, so gluing it together is the next step that we went through. And what did you find with gluing it together? Anything you noticed?
It's really hard to get the right amount of glue.
Yes, often these squeezy bottles lead to a large drip of glue, which you want to avoid using. But we're just using plastic cement to stick them together. That was the voice over.
It's lunchtime, bitches.
Lunchtime! Cheers to a public holiday for the purposes of building models. That's what it is.
Public holiday which we all spend working, making quality content.
International Model Day.
International Model Day.
Where do you put the bottle opener?
It hangs on the stream setup. I keep the bottle opener on the stream setup so I always can get drunk while I stream.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, what'd you say?
Nothing.
Oh, what a delightful luncheon that was.
I hope you're prepared for an unforgettable luncheon.
And post-lunch coffee.
We had a downer followed by an upper. Is downers and uppers as drugs, right?
Yeah.
The druggeries.
Yep.
Sorry.
The drudgeries.
I don't do drugs. I wouldn't know.
All of that.
I did not take a pill in Ibiza. Because Avicii knows I'm not cool.
Oh, is that a song?
It's a song.
Ah.
So, you guys have a ton of work to do. Now that you know how to do it, and now that you're well fed and watered, we're going to get back to work. But I am going to show you footage after they assemble all this stuff of what I'm doing in VR in the background. So stay tuned, because we're going to do some cool customizing stuff.
Woo!
Yay! We've been working our way through the bulk Necron warriors. We've managed to finish 14, and I'll probably finish off the rest in my own time. What have I learned? It's a bit of an interesting one. Getting positioning of your tweezers right, or your clippers right, to get the sprue off is pretty interesting. We'll get them off the sprue, I should say. The closer you can get to it, the better, so you've got less cleanup with your scalpel. I don't know, a lot of it's just really fiddly. But I think they turned out pretty well. For my first attempt, I'm quite proud of myself because I didn't break anything. I almost broke a hand off, but I was pretty safe in the end. And I wish I could say the same about my counterpart here.
I decided that, look, I'm an experienced hobbyist and I wanted to start converting and kit bashing straight away. So I thought that one of them had like this little bit of excess bit on their shoulder that we'd break off to match the broken down Necron aesthetic. The other one at the wrist joint just looked too good. So I just snapped that one, made sure to get that nice and broken, then glued it back on so it's like a bit broken looking.
It's good. It works well.
It's just when you get experience, you'll be confident enough to kit bash your own models in the way that I did.
Yeah. You also did the repose, so one's got his foot up on a rock that doesn't exist.
I bent his leg back into shape. This is the perfect example of someone who's being really really careful and new to the hobby, and I'm just like, oh, we're batch building Necron warriors. Like slap them together, and it's fine. They all look great.
It is fine, and like there's a lot to it. So unless you want to spend hours and hours and hours and hours literally just cutting them off the sprue, I don't think there's an issue with
Happy little accidents.
Yeah.
What did you find building these models? Was there anything particularly difficult or that you learnt from doing the warriors that you changed when you were doing this next lot?
Just make sure you put their waist, hip, joint in the right area and the right way around. It was an extension for
the hip joint's connected to the joint.
It turns out it was an extension for his third leg, an actual third leg, not a metaphorical third leg. But I had the piece around the wrong way, so it was the metaphorical third leg.
Yeah, I clocked that pretty quick when I looked at it. I'm like, I don't think this is meant to be a giant gaping hole to slot something in right in the center of his crotch.
Mate, I told you, I'm onto my kitbashing. I'll do whatever I want.
I like it. You're learning from the warriors.
So
for
speaking of kit bashing, I'm looking forward to helping you out, making this as unique and Rob as possible. So I'm going to switch over in the edit here to a bit of screen recording of what I've been working on in the background. So I've been sculpting you a Tui head. And while I sort of show this process, and FYI, I do my 3D sculpting in virtual reality. It's amazing. It's not quite as accurate as ZBrush or whatever, but it's way more intuitive. It's like working with clay. It's amazing. I highly recommend it. And it's compatible with like 3D printing and stuff. So put it straight into preform from an OBJ export. It's amazing.
So Tui is from the OG Tabletop Time campaign of Rogue Star. So Tui was the character I played, and Tui is a sentient AI engineer for our crew. He has a bit of an issue with people, to put it like kind of bluntly, but he's also like obsessed with himself a bit, so he's always looking about upgrading and making himself better. But the reason we've got Tui as a head is because obviously they're Necron warriors, they're Necrons, they're, you know, robot looking, they've all got similar shaped head, and it just kind of was serendipitous, I guess, that Tui's head shape naturally kind of fit within the theme.
After several hours of work, I'll finally finish my Tui head. Let's get that thing moving.
I finished!
I'm going to give you a front row seat while Rob finishes what he's doing. You're going to come with me for a little bit. I have spent 2 hours sculpting Tui, and I'm now going to put him in the resin printer, and I'm hoping we'll have him printed and on a model before the end of today, and the end of this video we'll have a Tui commander.
Come with us on a journey.
I think that's it. Upload job. So it's doing its print. We're going to walk away. We'll come back in 3 hours and see how it's gone. So my 3D print's done, and we're actually in the middle of tabletop time. Oh man, that turned out really good. What do you reckon, Dave?
I think it looks pretty good.
I think that looks pretty good.
I don't know that any of them are to scale, but
I think the smallest
two. Yeah.
All right.
From my initial look, one of them. Okay, no, that one will be small enough. That is sick.
You like it?
That is so good.
How are you going to make sure that stays yours?
It's not fully cured resin, that's toxic.
Yeah, that's toxic. Don't do that.
Gotcha! It was all a plan!
It's been cured and cleaned. It's fine.
Back to the chronology of the video. Alright, how do we go?
Oh yeah, not bad.
You got a few... Oh man, what's all this? What's this? What is this?
I'm running out of time.
I made my whole Necron custom army. That's clickbait, Rob. That's really irresponsible to thumbnail and title something into misleading people into thinking you put together a whole Indomitus Necron box in one video. If I were a viewer, I'd be so upset right now with you.
Can I just preface
and disappointed.
This is my first time. It's my first day.
No, it's all right. You can do this as homework.
Yeah, I'll get it done.
All right, so we've been doing the right thing with these models. We've been taking our time. We've been cleaning up mold lines, taking up the sprue marks.
All right, let me rate these.
Oh no, don't do that.
Okay, that one Rob did.
Oof.
Well, there's a big mold line on the back of that leg.
Rob.
I'm sorry. I've been time pressured.
This is
you've undermined honestly, what I was trying to say.
Do you know what? Regardless of
I'll get to the mold lines. It's luckily something I reckon I can still do.
Honestly, like, the fact is, people who have been doing this for a long time get fussy about their own stuff, but like, it's a huge achievement to have done how much you've done already, and this is your first session of piecing them together. So that's awesome. Well done. Round of applause. Round of applause, and we'll add some applause in post. Thanks, everyone. All right, that's enough. All right, calm down.
They haven't fed me yet.
We had pizza in this video, you damn liar.
Yeah, what the hell? Where's the gratitude, Rob? What is our vibe? Do we love or hate each other? What do we do?
I don't know. I don't know. You're very hostile a lot of the time.
And then, like, just full of love and hope and dreams. All right, tell you what we'll do. We'll show some cool turnarounds of all the different finished groups of the Necron army. It's going to look great. Check them out, guys. Oh, wow. Wow, look at all that. That's really cool stuff. Yeah,
Especially that one. That's good.
But the grand finale is Tui, the leader, which you haven't done now. But we're going to flash to the future and show you it done. Look at that. Oh, wow. That looks really cool, I hope.
I hope so, yeah. I've heard it looks good.
Let us know in the comments, because we don't know right now.
And I haven't seen it at all.
By the time you're writing the comment, we'll have seen it. But by the time we're recording this, we don't know. So tell future us ourselves what you think.
Well, you know that the head looks good.
Do I? So this was a video. We're ramping up, guys. We're ramping up, and we're still just getting started. But it's friggin' great.
See you in the next video.
Bye.
Please don't keep that. Get rid of that. I hated it.
Can we replay it 3 times and amplify it every time? Amp up
And
the
just
cringe.
slightly zoom
If
in
you
on
do
his
that.
face.
And do it
quit.
multiple, because we've got this
I
sliver
quit.
of Dave. Can we just like cut it off
quit.
here and put like,
quit.
we could at least fit 5 of that in one shot.
See you in the next video. See you in the next video. See you in the next video.